everybody. Welcome back to the Bread Box. You'll remember from last week that the Bread Box is where we come to take a peek inside each week to find out what the morning message is going to be about. Today, we're going to find out some wonderful things about Jesus again. I once again have a picture that the artist drew on the front of the Bread Box cover, and I want you to come close in so that we can read this together. The words on this say, "The people of Nazareth heard Jesus speak with great wisdom in the synagogue. They knew of the wonderful miracles that he had performed to show his power and his love. Why did they treat him with contempt?" You can see the word contempt here. What does that mean? Well, let me give you a little clue. If you can come in closer here. What does his face look like? Does he look like a happy and loving face for Jesus? Is he glad that Jesus is speaking to them? They're pointing their fingers. The word contempt means that they treated Jesus with disrespect. They treated Jesus with dislike. They didn't like him one bit. They did not believe in him. They had no faith in Jesus. Now, why do you think that would be? They had seen him preaching with great wisdom. They had seen the wonderful miracles that he did, but yet they had no faith in him. Yet they treated him with contempt. Why do you think that might have been? Well, I have something inside the bread box that might help you to understand the problem. Let's go close and see. Here's another thing that the artist did. This is not a painting. This time it's a little figurine. A figurine of what it might have looked like when Jesus was a boy in his father's carpenter shop. You see, the Bible tells us that Jesus grew up to be a young man who was a carpenter before he began his ministry. So he would make things with wood. Some people think maybe he made things out of stone. We do know that he was a carpenter. So in Nazareth, when he went there to preach to the people in the synagogue, when they saw Jesus, all they could think about was the boy Jesus that was growing up in their town. They said, "We know Jesus. He was a carpenter. We know his mother and his brothers and his sisters. We know where he lived." They could only think about Jesus as a man. They could not think about Jesus as God. They didn't have faith in Jesus. They didn't believe in him. So Jesus left Nazareth and he went into the other little villages around. It's kind of sad to think about that for Nazareth, that they missed their opportunity to really know and love Jesus because they could not think of him as being God. Well, I want us to have that faith today, that we know who Jesus is. We know that Jesus is God. And when we have faith in him, his power and his presence are in our lives. That's wonderful news for us today. Well, you listen closely as Pastor Chuck talks to us about that today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. So until then, goodbye.